はい、どうもこんばんは、ノーボディです。今回は、プロから学べ第2弾ということで、モキート、読み方間違ってたらすみません。モキート VS オプロンの試合を見ていきたいと思います。それでは試合の映像をどうぞ。
It seems to be the safest default choice, but as we saw from the Penta matchup and as we've seen previously, especially from Penta versus EG, almost all these sites are viable to a certain extent. You know, I would say probably Kitchen and Delivery is the one that is played the least, but you've got the hookah site upstairs, you've got the double bars downstairs, and then of course Penthouse where they are right now in Projector. Interestingly enough, the site that they're on right now has probably the most varying callouts for its sites of any other site in the entire game. People call it completely different.
I mean, Projector is either Projector, Home Theater, or just, you know, of course, the A site.
I've heard Purple.
Purple, yeah. And then you've got Master Bedroom, Penthouse, Bed, just... There's conflicting calls. I mean, Circle Couch. I know that was the original VIP call, and then I think most people switched to VIP, but yes. Very varying calls, that's for sure. First EE1D, as you can see Mockit trying to entry into Sunrise Bar. They're not going to find any defenders here, but notice an open drop and some spray coming from the blue stairs, which is going to prompt them to some of the Mockit positions.
And a Finka Blitz combo, which has reared its head a number of times, because Finka's ability allows you to ADS faster, and that affects shield time too, so Blitz can lower that shield and get his pistol out and shoot you before it's even visible on your screen. Safiz, who had just given us the interview, will punish Voy. The Thermite goes off the board, and Thermite not crucial for the site, though very useful on taking out that wall inside of Circle Couch, as we call it, or VIP, as the Valkyrie of Michi, goes down as well.
I think VIP is just a little bit easier.
VIP is so much easier.
So much.
Speaking of callouts, let's not forget.
はい、まずはですね、このオプロンのパルスの突き上げがすごい刺さって2人キルするんですが、すぐさまモキートのブリッツがパルスを槍に押し寄せるっていう、やっぱり行動の切り替えがすごいなっていうのがよくわかります。では映像の続きをどうぞ。
Safiz just completely falls off there as well. Doesn't want to challenge the blitz, even though enemy is very low on health. There is no assurance that the Mute will be able to win that fight, and gets back into sight with a minute left. You don't want to possibly be losing a roamer or one of your defenders when you know the push is going to come, and as it is, they're circling around to go in, and it looks like it will be a push through VIP, as they still only have 2 left, but 0 EE1Ds available for them too.
There's one in VIP, and from behind, Safiz gets a double kill. That's 4 for him in the round. What a spec! Oh, it's an ace! Correction! Didn't even see the first one. But overall, Safiz, a fantastic round. He's got to be feeling good about that.
That's a little bit of celebration there, as he'd gotten the I guess lead-off kill for his team.
Didn't even see that lead off. It was so early in the round. He played a very dynamic round overall. He's positioned in bar over by Sunrise, but not the Sunrise, the blue bar. And then he rotated all the way over to security and then back into sight into VIP. He kind of went around the world on the map.
He's getting his step counts in for the day.
Yes.
And on top of that, racking up the numbers, he will get an ace, which is something that you don't see every single day. Now, speaking of the flexibility of these sites earlier in the matchup, Mockit is going to opt to go for the double bars, blue and Sunrise bar, downstairs as their first defense. A castle is almost always integral. That's voice operator, so nothing too surprising there. Likely we'll see one castle barricade go in the doorway. That enemy just passed through, that is the Sunrise bar doorway. It's usually going to be aided with an impact hole to either the right or where you see Revan just now, but it looks like they'll use a mirror there. Instead, there's the impact hole. And we'll see if any more castle barricades go downstairs.
You can see they're also leaving one panel unreinforced in the blue bar. That's going to allow for a nice line of sight behind the actual bar itself, because holding in there as a defender is very dangerous. It's nice and easy, though, to keep yourself alive in Garden. Usually you aren't going to have a lot of people pressuring you from the attack if you play that position. Now Safiz going to be on the window outside, and one of his teammates that's spoken will be eliminated by Sneaky, going for Sneaky spawn peek. Going to work out for him. IQ off the board, and that means that some of the electronics will likely see a little bit more lifespan.
IQ is a bit of an interesting choice on this site. Probably just a safe pick, though. Mockit will answer back as Revan takes out Jacques, but the defuse going down. Michi isn't able to get it off as Mockit continues to punish every single thing that Oplon is throwing at them. That is 4 unanswered kills, leaving just a procs left.
Wow.
And Panix goes for the kill outside. Mockit, a 5-0 at... Not a single one of them goes down, so...
That right there was absolute dominance. And I mean, you have to hand it to the defense there for just keeping the aggression up. Mockit really showing Oplon that they have what it takes. I especially like what Mockit did also on that first attack round where they were clearing. They did a pretty good job. They just got picked apart by Safiz. And I don't think we've seen a single kill for anyone but Safiz on Oplon now.
No, that would be it because it was a flawless round in favor of Mockit on the last one. So still, Safiz the only member of Oplon. They'll go to defense, and we'll see that Blitz, Finka, Lion combo. As I had said that potentially this kitchen delivery was, you know, the least favored. And take a look at where they're going to go, to the one site that I said you don't see a lot of. A castle being run here as well. Castle is an operator who has made a bit of a resurgence himself.
Impacts.
Ability to shut down a push, and given how push heavy the attackers are, those castle barricades will slow them down. I would say probably more effectively than certain trap operators would.
Yeah, his castle barricades are definitely influential quite a lot. I mean, you're seeing also more operators being brought that have soft destruction capabilities in order to counter that. Zofia is going to be the example on Mockit's side of things, but it's also a case of the impacts. You need a certain amount of impacts on your team to be able to maneuver properly as a defender, and oftentimes you will see the castle put his barricades in sensible locations, you know, to help the anchor or potentially even the roamers, and then go roam himself. And I think that might be what we're seeing here. You know, no matter what, the castle barricade impact combo definitely going to be helping out Oplon a lot.
And Coastline happens to be a map that you see him quite a bit on. So for, you know, there's certain maps where you see operators play a bigger role than others. You know, Oregon is a map where Mira is almost always a must pick on both of those sites. Where Chalet, there are people who won't necessarily run a Mira on Chalet, depending on what site they are. Castle happens to see a lot of presence on Coastline. For just a second, Spoken is revealed due to the EE1D rattling off from above, but still, probably the slowest round that we've seen so far of the two.
Yep, absolutely. The defense playing passively and the attack taking it slow. Sneaky will get Safiz, so that's the only player on Oplon to get a kill so far eliminated. It's going to now have to come down to his 4 teammates to show up. Voy also gets a proc, so it's not happening yet for Oplon.
That must have droned him out, as you can see no silhouette whatsoever. And you'd mentioned that the castle typically does roam, and look at exactly what Michi is doing. He's playing up top in luggage, and he's there to greet anybody that pushes in through Aquarium, or Aqua as it's called as a shorthand.
You know, it's also called Aqua Hall in potentially luggage. We talked about varying calls, and there's just so many on this map.
I feel like it could be, I don't know what your weigh-in on this would be, but due to how new Coastline is, there hasn't been any established baseline for what to call everything, the same way other maps have.
I mean, in a way, but also a lot of calls are just internal as per team. Absolutely. They don't see a lot of public use. I mean, when you go and watch your favorite Pro League streamers, sometimes they'll be making calls, but oftentimes they're just interacting with their chat. I mean, it's hard for the community to pick up on some of these pro teams' calls, so at times they'll just make up their own, or they'll use whatever the map tells you, and that's not something that everyone uses.
Panix gets Michi, and now Oplon still is yet to get a kill outside of round number 1. Thermite is being played by Voy, and Oplon will still not be able to find any as Voy takes him down, leaving just Jacques, who does get one onto enemy before getting traded off by Sneaky, and now Mockit has 2 in a row. I was just going to mention how a Thermite sees virtually no use whatsoever. The Lion just testing the durability of that Blitz shield of his teammate before taking Mir out of the fight. And they use that Thermite charge above to put pressure on the actual site itself. A smarter play given the fact that Thermite isn't going to have much usage outside of that.
I mean, when you're trying to open up a soft wall or floor, then it doesn't matter what kind of destruction you have as long as you can destruct. And obviously, just a little bit of a mishap there from the defender who was attempting to disable the Thermite through the floor. Just could not happen. So, well done overall to Mockit yet again, clearing out the Oplon defense pretty efficiently, but it actually worked out for them this time.
So Jacques gets his team on the board, and Mockit going to defense. It's been pretty much a team effort there. The droning has been very well in conjunction with the Lion pushes, and you saw that they were able to get 2 kills from the preliminary entry through Hookah last round. Now Mockit, who had gone down to the double bars, and I would argue that in the second round, it wasn't so much necessarily just Mockit's defense, but Oplon tossed themselves at that site, trying to get in as quickly as they could, and Mockit was just there to greet them effectively. Now we'll see how Mockit does on their second defense. Is Oplon going to be as aggressive? Are they going to bare their teeth the same way that they did 2 rounds ago? Or is Mockit going to be able to counter? That's what we're about to find out.
Well, they're on a different bomb site, and over by Penthouse, there isn't as much run-out potential. You have just about the same amount of spawn peak potential from the windows, but if you're trying to go outside the building, I think it's a little bit less diverse. I mean, you can potentially utilize the balcony, specifically the southwest balcony, the northwest balcony, to counter the north balcony with a nice, well-timed run-out from Hookah. However, overall, in general, I would say if you're trying to run out on the east side, you're putting a lot at risk.
Now, Jackal's C7E is one of the most preferred guns by pros if you speak with them for Jackal's usage, but we see a PDW on Safiz. Possibly looking for some caliber-based destruction from that gun and the fact that it has such a large magazine to be able to tear through soft walls?
I mean, I think the main reason is just bigger mag, more headshots. That's usually, I mean, the C7E is a really, here you go. There's that exact run out we were talking about earlier. It didn't actually work out for Panics, but yes, I would say it's just more bullets, more headshots, more potential to kill the enemy. The C7E is used because it melts people. It is a very efficient gun for killing in any context, whether it be to the head or the torso.
Jacques goes for the very long bullet pen, but there are indestructible walls in its path.
Yeah.
As Sneaky the Mira takes out one member of Oplon.
I mean, you missed all the shots you don't take, right? And speaking of not hitting your shots, Jock's gonna bounce the lifeline off the door directly back into his face, and Michi will get Voy, so even trade so far.
They'll lose the mute, which is not dire because likely those mute jammers are down. The actual operator himself has a gadget that persists, so it's not like you're looking at a Pulse who dies with their gadget or Smoke who dies with their gadget. It's especially critical.
So Jock has control over Hookah, but only because it was completely forfeited. Oh, that's the wrong one. We've all done that. You know, we've all done it. So a trade elsewhere, Sneaky will get one before being traded back on from Spoken. So it's still an even count, but only a minute left. Ravon will get Michi as he pushes into the site, and that's a good job from the Pulse. And from Blue
はい、次はですね、このオプロンの IQ 選手の動き、一瞬だけピークすることによって敵がいるか確認できて、なおかつ相手からは絶対に反応できないっていうのが作れるので、やられてしまったんですが、ぜひぜひ使える技なんでやってみてください。それでは続きをどうぞ。
At that range, could not see the smoke to aim effectively. So close. If you throw a hollow or a reflex or a red dot on that, there's a very good chance that IQ possibly could have won that fight.
It certainly would have been a lot easier for IQ to come out on top there with a lower mag scope, but I know there are players out there that argue, and understandably so. It's kind of a art playing with an ACOG in a way at close range like that. It's something you have to get used to, but you can make it work. It's just difficult. The reason that I think most people say it doesn't have a downside is because it's so much more efficient at your medium to long ranges.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, you did get hit in the chest with a shotgun from Smoke, which you really only have one opportunity to be able to win that fight because that blast is...
You get a headshot on the first bullet, or you're dead.
Or that's it.
Yeah.
So back to bedroom we will go. Master bedroom upstairs as Oplon has now lost 3 rounds in a row. You saw the scoreboard just a moment before. And Safiz right now has 5 kills, that he got that ace. There have only been 3 frags in the next 3 rounds since for Oplon. If that trend continues, they are going to continue to lose. And Mockit is very briskly running away with this, at least for the time being. And they have run an identical composition on attack 3 rounds now. That's Zofia and Thermite bookended by the 2 brand new CBRN or C-Burn operators and then Blitz.
I really do like the lineup that Mockit is using. You could argue for a Hibana rather than a Thermite, but as long as you get it one operator on hard destruction, it really doesn't matter. Safi's going to be spotted out by the drone from below, prompting him to rotate. He's got a lot of options though from above. He can jump down into garden and dress the defender or the attackers directly, or simply just rotate over to Hookah and play it safe, which is what he's going to choose to do.
using those mute jammers as a utility and aid to roam is something that I think we've seen a number of teams use for mute, is that you can use them on site, as you said, or just aiding them. You know, I believe it was Penta last season who were able to outfox their opposition by putting 3 mute jammers upstairs on console and being able to roam basically from zone to zone to zone undetected. E1D will go down 60 seconds into the round, and I like the way they've been using Enemy basically to just completely clear everything out. He is essentially a drone with a shield in front of his face, and has just been able to take entire swaths of this map under his control at just a bit above a 1-speed limit.
Yeah, you got to really appreciate people who play Blitz like Enemy, I mean, and like Julio, for example, really knowing what their role is and how to execute it. But they have left one player on the roam, that's Hafiz, inside of Hookah, and that isn't being checked, it looks like. Mockit just choosing to leave that Oplon player all by his lonesome, which is going to be a potentially really devastating late flank.
Doesn't look like Revan understands that one part of the ceiling is not breakable. He will get it right the second time around.
Oh, this is huge.
Spoken has taken some damage. Now, I was going to say, Thermite is not usually an operator that has a lot of viability on Coastline as a whole, but they've opened up that wall inside a Projector. Sneaky had gotten the first kill, and that is on a prox, the smoke off the board. Spoken, who has now joined the fray, but he's done so at the top of Cool Vibe Stairs. That was where you'd seen Safiz playing earlier. He takes down the Lion, and that is a huge pick. Now, 50 seconds, though. Lion is integral for you getting your plant down, and it looks like they have an opportunity to push in as the Thermite Avoy is going to jump in as well, quite literally through a window.
Yeah, and unfortunately a flashbang goes off to blind Enemy. With so little time, this could actually slow things down quite a lot for Mockit. They need to start pushing into the site. Spoken from behind in the main lobby, has the C4 ready and primed. Nobody's watching this flank. Here it comes. And one onto Panics, but now the flank watch is there. Jock also gets Void with his own C4. Coming down the main lobby stairs is going to be Ravon, who refrags onto the Pulse in the hallway. Enemy able to even things out, and Ravon, another one for him. Now it's all up to Michi, and he's full blind. What has just happened? A 2 versus 4, I believe, just happened. It was Mockit with an amazing comeback.
All because you don't push a blitz like that. Ended up getting blind, and then Ravon at the bottom of the stairs, able to win a gunfight that probably should not have gotten away with in the main lobby. Now Mockit has basically made Oplon look like they didn't show up at all for this match over the last 4 rounds. Said that Mockit had gone back and rewatched their VODs. They had prepared. They're still getting used to the fact that Sneaky's only been on the team. And right now, it does look like whatever they've fixed is absolutely working, though for Oplon, you remember Safiz had said that they're going to be trying some new things today? It's a gamble that you take. If you're going to unveil brand new strategies, you better make sure that they can work, because this is a major game for them.
It's also important to remember that this is Mockit's map pick, so they are going to the map that they wanted to go to. They are going to the one they're more comfortable on, and as you say, it could absolutely be the case that Oplon is not very well versed on this map. As you see Mockit setting up their very adept hold for the double bar. I really do like the way that they're doing this. It looks like it's well rehearsed, and props to Mockit for that. Now, last time they went here, they absolutely destroyed Oplon. They didn't lose a single operator, if I recall correctly, and yeah, there wasn't much said from Oplon. They kind of mostly were outside the building and died one by one by one.
To be fair, they did get very aggressive. They tried to take the front entrance of Sunrise Bar, and they got paid for it. And at that point, Mockit took full advantage of it. So we'll see if Oplon's going to play with a bit more restraint this round and not just feed themselves into gunfire.
I mean, hopefully so, of course. Does look like Mockit have a distinct advantage here on this map, but like to see Oplon at least put up a little bit more of a fight. Default camera left alive out on the southwest. Eventually, hopefully we'll be finished. There we go. Jock gets it. But that's 30 seconds into the round. A lot of information has just been gathered from Mockit. That's going to mean that they are aware Oplon is pushing from the west side.
And we talked about how Oplon played so aggressively last time around. It's now Mockit the one who are playing as equally aggressive just on defense.
Yeah.
Sneaky, who is currently leading the game in frags, was playing up on that hookah balcony, looking to see if he could get an early pick. That actually would have been spoken if the engagement had taken place, and that would have been a crucial first casualty for the defenders.
So we've had a whole minute transpire so far, and really all that Oplon has really done is sit outside of the building looking for picks. They do have Michi, who looks like he's trying to push in elsewhere, along with a prox, but they have taken kitchen control, but that's not really a whole lot to work with.
No, and we see this every single time a team is facing match point. They play very cautiously. They potentially overthink it, which can lose them the game, not just the round. But first push is going to go, and Safiz and Spoken Go and Mockit are going to continue their winning ways, at least for that fight. Their first encounter will claim 2, and now add a third, as there are only 2 members left of Oplon. Michi is down, and it's going to be the Zofia of Jacques as the last member up. This game is all but over, or at least this match, unless Jacques can get an ace clutch. He takes 1 down and goes for a second onto the rook. He'll get it, but panics on the stairs, is eliminating Jacques, and Oplon fall after taking the first round, lose 5 in a row. And Mockit takes their map of Coastline.
I mean, not a whole lot to talk about there. You had the camera left alive for a little bit too long, telling Mockit that, oh yeah, they're definitely coming from the west. No doubt about that. Then you had the castle barricade in kitchen, which had to be destroyed.
はい、いかがだったでしょうか。モーキット VS オプロン。残念ながらオプロンが負けてしまうんですが、今回ちょっと見てて思ったのが、オプロンがすごい安全にキルを取ってるシーン、ニトロセルの突き上げなんですが、ちょっとよく多くあって、なかなかモーキットも苦しめられる場面が多かったんですが、残念ながらこの打ち合いの中でオプロンが負けてしまうのが多かったかなという印象です。その他にもこの一瞬だけ出るこの講座ピークテラハントでやるとね、よく使えるんですよね。よく使える？よくわかるんですけど、絶対に今のわかるかな？打ってくるっていうこの反応できないので、ぜひぜひ使ってみてください。それでは今日の動画はここまでです。さらば。